Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting interview in the Food Service Hygiene Dialogue. This one with Mr. Abdullah Bazari, Quality and Food Safety Manager at PepsiCo. Being the giant that it is, I'm sure there is a lot of strategic planning, best practices, and a lot more that goes into maintaining the highest standards of hygiene that PepsiCo is known for. So, without further ado, let me turn over the time to Mr. Abdullah. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Abdullah. It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Mr. Abdullah, tell us about the importance of food hygiene at PepsiCo.
Okay, when we were talking about PepsiCo, we're talking about very international known brand. And the food hygiene is part of the food safety, and the food safety is part of the company image. It's very important factor in the company. It's the second important things I will say in the company after the safety of people. So we consider the safety of our staff is number one, and the food safety and quality of our product is number two. It's one of the main pillars for our company.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. What are some of the best practices in food hygiene that you take?
Okay, I believe in when it comes to food safety and hygiene is the mindset and having the people all on the same board, where they know the importance of the quality and the hygiene of the plant is not only the part of their job for them. If they're working in production or maintenance or other department, they should know it is an everyone responsibility, and it's a day-to-day work. It is 24 hour, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's every day, every moment, every time, I would say.
That is wonderful, but maybe there are some exclusive measures that you're taking to, ensure food hygiene in your facilities.
Okay, let's start. Let's say, but with being an experience in let's say in different manufacturing companies, and especially in PepsiCo and the beverage and the food part, the hygiene is a start from the when you're entering the plant. So it's the mindset, as I said. It is the tools you are using. It is the chemical you are using. It is the procedure you are following. It's the verification of this procedure. So it starts with so many things, as I said, from the mindset, the people, the training, the tools you are using, the chemical you are using, the procedure you are following, and at the end, the verification of the validation of this cleaning you are doing.
Could you tell me a bit more about the verification part? Because, we all speak about how, what kind of chemicals we should be using, what kind of practices we should be using, but we barely talk about compliance. I mean, how do we make sure that, all the processes are being duly followed by the staff members to ensure food hygiene?
Okay, let's make it in a different parts. First is the people, second is the environment, third is the equipment. When it comes to people, we know that people, they need to dress up in a clean way, they need to keep their clothes, and their personal hygiene is there. So when we verify on the people, we take swabs from their hand, for example. When we check their uniform, we check the way they do things. Second thing, when it comes to the environment, for example, when we talk about the air, in some industries, for example, in the beverage, when we were dealing with the NCB, the non-carbonated drinks, the air hygiene is very important. So we were taking, for example, micro sampling of the air, where we verify what's the amount of bacteria or mold or yeast in the air. So this is how we verify the air, the environment. Same thing is applicable, for example, for the drains or the floors. When it comes to the equipment itself, it is the same procedure. But here the verification can be in two different ways. One is when you do the swab of the machines itself. The second, when you take the finished product which came out from these machines. So the finished product, you can do the micro for that, and the same thing, the swab for the machine. So you should have the parameters which is matching the industry. Different industry, they have different limits.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Now, talking about my favorite topic, that is cleaning technology. What kind of cleaning technology has PepsiCo invested in?
Can you come back again to the question?
The cleaning technology. What kind of cleaning
Okay.
technologies does PepsiCo adopt?
Okay, when it come in beverage, we have the CIB, which is clean in place. We have an automated system where it start from the CIB room, where it is at 3 steps or 5 steps cleaning, we call it. So we'll start with water, hot water, the chemical which you want to use, it is acidic or alkaline, whatever matches the industry. Then again water, and then a cold hot water, then again the cold water. So and the flow chart of this water and the chemical is very important. The concentration of this chemical is very important. So that's how it is done, controlled, I would say.
All right. Tell us now about PepsiCo's food safety policy.
Okay. Food safety policy of PepsiCo, it's one of the, as I told you, the most important things after the safety, because we believe our staff safety and our health of the people is very important. The second thing is the most important is the food safety. It is something which is, I will say, important coming from the top management all the way down. So the policy it covers all the products, it covers the plant, it covers the hygiene of the people. It's very important things for all.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Tell us about the hygiene challenges you face and how do you overcome any hygiene challenges that come your way at PepsiCo?
Okay, I think one of the hygiene challenges we have is sometimes the cost of the hygiene. It's something when it comes to industry, the cost cutting is very important. So we're always looking for a new technology in this. For example, how we can save time, how we can have a new chemical to shorten the period of CIB. I can tell you, for example, in beverage, when it comes to the 3-step CIB, it takes sometimes up to 2 hours and 3 hours. 3 hours of a production time that costs a lot of money. So I believe the first challenges is how we can make it more saving. The second thing and challenges is to be implemented in the right way. You have to train the people. You have to be sure that it is giving its scope. It's giving what it's made of. To monitor it closely and validate it and check it every frequency. For example, the machines, they do mistakes sometimes. So it's very important to check after the machines, especially with the current let's say technology where we're fully depending on machines itself. So it's very important sometimes to validate something in a manual way, to go and check the records, check the graphs, check the temperatures, find different ways in checking and avoiding mistakes.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah. Now coming towards my next question, that is about training. I'm sure there is a set training mechanism in place in PepsiCo that you follow to train your cleaning staff or your general food handlers in terms of hygiene. So how do you do that? How do you train your staff in terms of hygiene?
A nice question. We have in PepsiCo, we have different platforms for this. First, we have a PepsiCo University, where all type of trainings when it comes to quality, to food safety, to hygiene are available online. And there is a target for each and every employee, regardless if he is in a quality or in food safety team, even if he's in production or warehouse or in the maintenance, they have to go through these trainings. Second thing, we have on-site trainings where we do the refreshment training, because every site have their own let's say procedures, which sometimes what we found and what we find, sorry, and the PepsiCo University is the common one, the general one. So every site they have their own procedures, their own let's say technology sometimes. So we have also a refreshment training target for each and every employee. I can tell you that every month we train the people at least around 30 people to 40 people.
That is wonderful, because I'm sure that being at the scale where PepsiCo is, training is also very difficult. Training so many people and ensuring their compliance to your processes is quite a huge task. So
And this
thank you
is
so much. Yeah,
and
please
actually
carry
this is
on.
the challenge. Yes, sorry to interrupt you, but this is also the challenges, as I mentioned, when it comes to the cleaning and the training. How you can find time for that? Sometimes in a very busy schedule for production or plan, we even go one step ahead. We go train people online because we don't want to miss the training. So we encourage people to come to the classroom. If not, we go train them online because we want to keep them always updated, always having their information refreshed in their mind.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much. It looks like we've covered all of our questions. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr.
My
Abdullah. It
pleasure.
was a pleasure to have you on the second edition of the Food Service Hygiene Dialogue. To all our listeners, we'll see you again in a while after a short networking break. Don't forget to use this time to connect with like-minded people in the industry. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
Abdullah. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day all.